Greetings and welcome back to the Osha Cerese Show. I am your host, Osha Cerese, and this is episode 21 of the Osha Cerese Show. That means we're 3 weeks in this thing. This is the third official week, showing up every day. This is where culture meets coaching, where healing meets headlines, and where we utilize alchemy to transmute gossip into growth. Thank you all for tuning in. If you are not already subscribed to my channel, please do so now. If you're on YouTube and you just so happen to scroll upon this show, hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching on Instagram, it's not always going to stream there. It lives on YouTube. So if you look under my live videos, all of the previous episodes are there. And one day I may not decide to stream on Instagram as well. So make sure you are subscribed to my channel. It is in the link in my bio, youtube.com/at Osha Cerese, OSHACERESE. Again, youtube.com/at OSHACERESE. Make sure you not only subscribe, but you also hit that notification bell because this is a pop-up show. You never know when I'm going to pop up. Eventually, we'll have a routine, a regular time that I show up every day. But right now, as I've committed to showing up live every day this month, we're popping up. So make sure you have those notifications turned on. Again, I am Osha Cerese. I'm a certified life coach. I am a event curator and a dream doula, helping people birth their ideas. And I support women and men as well. I have men clients as well on their journey of healing, self-love, and self-discovery. So we take what is trending, what is going viral, celebrity news, celebrity gossip, whatever is hot for the day or for the week, and we pull those lessons out and see how we can apply them to our lives. So I've been sharing with you all my health journey this month. We did about a little over 2 weeks of raw vegan and juicing. So I'm back eating my cooked foods and haven't been juicing as much, but I'm going to get back on the juicing because I actually really enjoy it. But the drink of the evening is some kombucha. This is actually a woman-owned company. I ain't going to tell y'all unless y'all DM me because I am not sponsored. But this is some kombucha. You know, it's great for gut health. You got to get you something fermented, to balance that gut health. Something like some kombucha, some kimchi, some sauerkraut, whatever you choose to consume sometimes is good for you. So cheers to great health, to happiness, joy, success, love, and abundance. Cheers. I just brushed my teeth too. So this is my first time drinking this flavor. I'm going to assume it's not that great because I just brushed my teeth. Blueberry ginger. Let me see. Because the other flavors that I tried from this brand, I liked. So far, this is just all right. Kombucha kind of has like a little apple cider vinegar taste to it, but flavored. So it's an acquired taste, but I usually like kombucha. That one, we'll see how it tastes in a few minutes, but it's going to have to grow on me. Anyway, it's February, which means it's Black History Month. So happy Black History Month to you all. We've been doing a Black History Spotlight every day. And today I wanted to spotlight the Black Panther Party. That is the Black History Month spotlight of the day. So I'm giving y'all some some quick facts, and then I might go a little deeper into more information about the Black Panther Party. So it was founded in October of 1966, which is August, September, October, November. 3 months after my mom's birthday in Oakland, California. 3 months after she was born. And she was born in California, so right around that area. The founders were Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale, who met at Merritt College in Oakland. Two Black men who rarely get talked about. Like, Did you learn about Huey P. Newton or Bobby Seale in school? No, I didn't either. Their primary aim was to monitor and challenge police brutality against the African American community, and it was a blend of Black nationalism, socialism, and armed self defense. Some of their community social programs were initiatives like the Free Breakfast for Children program. Health clinics and educational programs were established to support and uplift Black communities. Now, I recently heard this. I can't give you the source, but I saw it on my timeline on Instagram. So, again, one of their initiatives was free breakfast for children in the community. A part of the anger that erupted about this free lunch for children in the community was the fact that we were able to provide something within our own community without outside help, um, which certain powers that be do not want. So not only did they come in and tear down the free breakfast for the children, according to this particular man that I saw on Instagram, he said that the police broke into the church where the food was kept the night before the free lunch program was supposed to start, and the officers urinated all over the food. So I'm going to just say allegedly because I don't have the direct source, but he was speaking about the fact that these folks, these clowns, these demons, these officers broke into the church where the food was held for the free breakfast program and urinated all over it. How inhumane can you be? So, of course, some of their challenges that they faced, the party faced intense scrutiny and was targeted by the FBI's COINTELPRO program, which aimed to discredit and dismantle Black nationalist organizations. And despite their community efforts, the Black Panther Party was often portrayed as a militant or terrorist organization, overshadowing their positive contributions. Internal conflicts, external pressures, and continuous government surveillance led to the party's decline by the early 1980s. The legacy of the Black Panther Party persists, inspiring contemporary movements that advocate for radical justice and community self-sufficiency. And depending on who you ask and who you know and where you go, they're still active. There's still an active Black Panther Party. So you just got to do your own research about that. But just to go a little deeper than that, the party was active between 1966 and 1982 with chapters in major American cities, including San Francisco, New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Seattle, and Philadelphia. They were also active in many prisons and had international chapters in the UK and Algeria. Upon its inception, the party's core practice was its open carry patrols, cop watching, designed to challenge the excessive force and misconduct of the Oakland Police Department. From 1969 onward, the party created social programs including the free breakfast for children programs, educational programs, and community health clinics. The Black Panther Party advocated for class struggle, claiming to represent the proletarian vanguard. In 1969, J. Edgar Hoover, the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, described the party as the greatest threat to the internal security of the country. Interesting. They're not concealing their faces. They're not harassing anybody. They weren't burning crosses on nobody's lawn, but they were the greatest threat to internal security of the country. The FBI sabotaged the party with an illegal and covert counterintelligence program, COINTELPRO, of surveillance, infiltration, perjury, and police harassment, all designed to undermine and criminalize the party. The FBI was involved in the 1969 assassinations of Fred Hampton and Mark Clark, who were killed in a raid by the Chicago Police Department. Black Panther Party members were involved in many fatal firefights with the police. Huey Newton allegedly killed Officer John Frey in 1967, and Eldridge Cleaver, Minister of Information, led an ambush in 1968 of Oakland police officers, in which 2 officers were wounded and Panther treasurer Bobby Hutton was killed. The party suffered many internal conflicts, resulting in the murder of Alex Rackley. Government persecution initially contributed to the party's growth among African Americans and the political left, who both valued the party as a powerful force against de facto segregation and the U.S. military draft during the Vietnam War. Party membership peaked in 1970 and gradually declined over the next decade due to vilification by the mainstream press and infighting largely fomented by COINTELPRO. Support further declined over reports of the party's alleged criminal activities such as drug dealing and extortion. The party's history is controversial. Scholars have characterized the Black Panther Party as the most influential Black Power organization of the late 1960s and the strongest link between the domestic Black liberation struggle and global opponents of American imperialism. Other scholars have described the party as more criminal than political, characterized by the defiant posturing over substance. So, depending on who you ask, just know it made a great impact, and what the initial intention was for it and how it was dismantled due to corruption and people not wanting a group of folks that look like me and look like us to be able to stand up for themselves, protect themselves, feed themselves, and work together. So do your research a little bit further on the Black Panther Party if you would like more information, but that is the Black History Spotlight of the day. I also wanted to talk about that because of the whole free breakfast program for children and just some of the resources that we have, not just as Black people, but people that are facing poverty or whatever, having a hard time. EBT, food stamps, SNAP, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people are on it. Mostly people that don't look like me are on it. But as far as what it can help you with as a person that's going through something or impoverished or have a whole bunch of kids, a whole bunch of mouths to feed, we know the benefits of having stamps and trying to put this on Do Not Disturb. We know the benefits of having food stamps. Folks that got money, if they're able to, they gonna try to find them some food stamps, but you ain't hear that from me. But I'm just saying, like, the benefits of having them are helping people to be able to feed their families and to not be hungry. It's getting a little bit better. The reason I'm bringing this up is because in the news recently, this week, I guess, Tamara Mowry from, Tia and Tamara Mowry Housley's husband, Adam Housley, he's a journalist. He's usually kind of like MAGA adjacent. He's a white man. And he recently made some comments that went viral. Let me read them for you. So Adam says, well, it was in response to a tweet that says, breaking, Trump administration may ban the use of food stamps for purchasing junk food per NYP. And he retweeted it and said, as a kid who grew up in a neighborhood grocery store since I was 5, I can't tell you how many times I saw people come in and buy crap food for their kids with food stamps, then open the wallet and use cash for liquor, beer, wine, and cigarettes. Then there were those who would repeatedly buy a lemon or lime, get the change, walk out the door, throw them away, and do it again until they had enough change to buy cigarettes or alcohol. As a kid, it pissed me off because there are some people who could really use the help, and then there are others working the system. And so someone asked someone with the handle Black Therapist and Coach, What exactly do you mean by grew up in neighborhood grocery stores since you were 5? He said, my parents used every dime they had to open a small neighborhood grocery store. My brother and I basically lived in the back room. As a family, we worked our butts off. I got baseball cards as pay for picking up cigarette butts in the planters, LOL. Worked those stores until I left for TV. Brother still runs both of them. So I wanted to read some of the comments that he received. Someone says, this statement is so, I'm going to just shout out your handles. Attorney underscore pain underscore says, this statement is so harmful. Not only is it rooted in bigotry, it's an unfair projection that children born in lower income and poverty stricken environments don't deserve what I'm sure his kids often enjoy, i.e., a cake, a popsicle, a piece of candy, etc. The fact that no one is saying Little Debbie, Coke products, and all candy distributors need to be out of business shows that this is only an attempt to control a group you identify as less than. When Michelle Obama had the initiative to make school lunches healthier for all, not just the children you deem as unfortunate, no one was in support of it. Why? Kiss my A and check your bias at the door. And I feel her on that because it is, you're saying, I get people wanting folks to utilize government assistance, the stamps or whatever, to make healthier choices when they go grocery shopping. But at the same time, that's really none of your business because some people may not choose healthy foods because they're not educated on choosing those foods because they can make their money stretch a little bit better if they get processed foods or quick foods. Like this woman says, it might just be a treat for their kids to be able to have, just like anybody else gives their kids treats. Or that just might be how they like to eat, and that's their business. And if they want to utilize the funds that are divvied to them for those particular things, then that's their business and their prerogative. And like she said, it's not like he's in an uproar that the junk food should be eliminated altogether because really a lot of the food that we have available to us in the United States isn't healthy, whether it's in a box or in the produce section, because who knows what's being done to it. It's not fresh. It's getting shipped from another country anyway or another state. It's not fresh out the garden and off of the farm. It's got pesticides and antibiotics and all these type of things, dyes, harmful dyes and chemicals and all of these things that nobody really should be eating. Why is it even available at all? So if we're going to really try to trip or try to make a big deal out of foods not being healthy that are being purchased, talk about it all across the board, not just for food stamp recipients. Then, like she said, your kids probably get treats. So you mean to tell me that someone that has stamps cannot give their kid a treat or some junk food? That's your personal opinion on whether or not they should have access to that. Someone says, let me see. Love Kathy Gaskin says, everyone here is disregarding the fact that junk food is bad for kids because it can cause obesity, poor academic performance, and other health problems. Y'all are so quick to judge simply because he's a white man married to a black woman. I get what she's trying to say, but at the same time, it still applies because, yes, junk food is bad. We can name thousands of things that are bad for families, that are bad for children, and nobody else is talking about all of those things. They're just pinpointing this one particular thing because they feel like it's pinpointing a specific demographic of people and not allowing them to have access. Juicy underscore J's underscore kitchen said, I couldn't imagine being 5 years old and pocket watching. Talking about it pissed me off. Right. You said you were five years old working in the grocery store. and you were sitting there livid because you saw grown adults using food stamps to buy junk? Really? ATL Songbird with a Y says Tamara keeps turning a blind eye to her husband's behavior. I'm sure he doesn't like black folks, although she is half. That doesn't mean anything. He commented on Trayvon Martin saying his death wasn't about race. He worked for Fox News and now this. Y'all always act like Tamara and her marriage is perfect while looking at her sister's marriage as a problem since she got a divorce. This marriage is the real problem. Now, I don't know what all is going on in their marriage, but I do know that Tamara has had to defend her husband for years. Even when they first got together, when she was still on the real. There's a clip going around on Twitter right now where she was saying, you know, she was putting a little sass and a little neck to it, talking about my husband is not racist. Just because he worked for a particular network, my husband is not racist. And I'm going to say this. I don't know that man. I don't know his views. I don't know what she knows about him. I'm just saying this in general. Just because someone marries someone of a different race doesn't automatically mean that they're not racist. So his views, his actions, all of that can be in alignment with racism, all while having a half black wife and a quarter black children. So I'm not saying he is or he isn't, but I'm just saying that doesn't exclude him for the possibility of being a racist. Charleston McKinnis says, this is so harmful. He's so privileged, he doesn't even understand that many low areas are food deserts. There aren't adequate grocery stores, and many families don't even have a freaking car to get there. Do you think those people want their kids to eat snacks? Sometimes that's all they can have. Why did your family open a store in those low-income areas and didn't have fresh food, fruits, vegetables, and meat for them? They were intentional about profiting off of those very people while sitting in judgment. KMA, please, sir. What do I mean? Oh, kiss my ass. You got to keep up with these abbreviations. But absolutely. He's not talking about the fact that, first of all, you're privileged enough to, your family owns grocery stores, bruh. Like, you have money and you all strategically place these grocery stores in areas where you have people that are able to come in and use food stamps. So when they use these food stamps, guess what that money is going? Towards helping your ass be raised properly and have the benefits of being able to purchase the healthier options and probably not even shopping at your own grocery store. So they're not talking about that part. He's not talking about that part. You're sitting behind the cash register, or you outside picking up cigarette butts or whatever you was doing as a child, sitting around watching people's transactions, judging them because they get some snacks. Meanwhile, those snacks that they're getting with those food stamps is keeping you from having to just have that as an option. So knock it off. Noonie.Toon said, if that made you or your family so mad, why didn't your parents stop accepting food stamps as a form of payment? Your family benefited from them. Now you have the nerve to look down on those that built your fortune. Period. Shay Renee 26 _ said, how about ban the food with the harmful ingredients and stop charging so much for organic and clean food? Which I know, but it doesn't make sense that organic foods are more expensive than the foods that aren't. Because if you have to use less pesticides, less antibiotics and all of that, why am I paying more to eat healthy? Because they don't want you to eat healthy. Patrice. So basically, he had the privilege to be minding somebody else's business since he was 5 years old. It truly has to be exhausting to have that much audacity while being completely tone deaf. Imagine being 5 years old worried about what low-income people are doing with their spare change. Clown emoji. I'll read a couple more. _Taja.KTAJA says, all I have to say is, if you've never had to be on food stamps or WIC, please shut your mouth. Your privilege and ignorance is showing. Ask the people of Camden, New Jersey, who only have one grocery store for the whole town, how they feel about this judgmental comment, and then come back to me. Food deserts are real, and I can tell you, ain't no corner store serving organic fruits and veggies. This is the exact systemic oppression and community disenfranchisement that goes on in this country in 2025. She said at 2025. Yet people feel bold enough to judge the next person instead of educating or advocating. Like, get out your house and get in the community so you can see what it's really like to stop judging from behind a keyboard. And more comments like this. So Tamara's response was to post a picture of her family and say, "Love my family so much, Lord, I thank you." So she is not trying to hear any of the response and the backlash that her husband is getting. So that's that. I did hear rumors that when Tia and Tamara were married, when Tia was married to Corey Hardwick, I was hearing that there was some kind of tension between Corey and Adam, but that's just what I heard. But I will say that instead of criticizing people and judging folks, we just have to do what we can to contribute. If his family still have those grocery stores, maybe donate some fresh fruits and vegetables to some of the people that come in with food stamps and purchase the junk food. Maybe have some type of initiative. If you come in and you have food stamps for every $5 you spend, you can get $1 worth of produce on the house or something. Like, do what you can to support healthier eating. Have some food demonstrations in your grocery stores or wherever where people are showing folks how to make healthier meals. Have some free recipe sheets that you can hand out, or do what you can do instead of sitting around judging, but trying to get people to be able to cut off, whether that's they're using it for snacks or if they're using it to survive, to stretch, because them getting a pack of noodles can last for the whole household, more so if they got some fresh pasta and sauce and fresh vegetables and meat or whatever it is. However, they got to stretch they food stamps. And then someone else made a good point in the comments too, that some of these food stamp recipients are homeless. So they're trying to get non-perishable items that they're able to just quickly eat, or something that's microwavable or quick while they're unhoused. Mr. Housley. So stop judging. I think that as Tamara being his wife, of course, you have to publicly stand by your man. But I'm wondering, is she having private conversations with him about some of his insensitivities and missing the mark? I really wonder what those conversations are like behind closed doors, or if she just completely agrees with him. She has a white father, but if you really pay attention to like Tia and Tamara's pages, they're not always as close. Tia and Tamara have both made public statements that show you that they're not always close. They don't always see each other. They don't always see eye to eye. They don't always spend time with each other. And if you notice the parents, the father is usually with Tia more than with Tamara, and the mother is usually with Tamara. And I just noticed things. So I don't know what that means, but it's giving there's some tension, or there is some greater comfort level at certain houses. I don't know, but you can see different signs of what's going on just from looking at their pages, because I follow Tia, Tamara, Taj. Yeah, Tia, Tamara, and Taj Mari. And then they have another brother named, I think it's Tavion. And he just got married. And he's married to a darker skinned woman. And they have 2 boys. I think they just had a baby boy. I know they have a son. I think their second baby was a boy as well. It might have been a girl. But their son is darker skinned like the mom. He's actually darker than the mom. And so I'm wondering, I remember when Adam and Tamara first had their little girl, and Adam made a comment like the fact that his daughter is already darker than his son, like he's pretty much ready to defend or say anything to any trolls that might say something racist about his daughter. But I'm wondering, like, if their children grow up and have children by black people and their kids come out darker, like if his undertone of racism is already present, how is that going to show up if he has some brown skinned grandchildren? Jazzy Jazz 44444 says, I just came to say your hair looks beautiful. Thank you, gorgeous. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm almost 6.5 years in. Thank you. But yes, Hunty, I think you just have to really, again, I keep telling y'all and preaching to y'all about vetting. Let's see how old Tamara was when her and her man got together. Because I think she might have been, I don't know, I think she might have been a virgin when they got together, actually. Either a virgin or very little experience. How old was Tamara Mari? So she was in her early 20s. It says Tamara Mari was a student at Pepperdine University in the early 2000s when she met her husband, Adam Housley. At the time, she was likely in her early 20s. Mari and Housley have been married since 2011. A professor introduced them while Mari was a student at Pepperdine. Housley proposed after they had been together for 6 years. They married in Napa, California that same year. Housley is a business owner who co-founded Century Oak, a family-owned winery. He also co-founded Barnhouse Napa Brews, a cafe in Napa, California. Before becoming a business owner, Housley worked in baseball and journalism. Let me see the age difference. So she is 46 and he is 53. So he's 7 years older. So if they met when she was in her early 20s, that means he was either in his late 20s, or maybe early 30s. So I don't know what they have going on. She seems like she, might have been a little green when they met. So a lot of times when you meet men when you're in your early 20s and you start serious relationships, at an early age, especially with older men, these men know that you're very impressionable and malleable, as they like to say, moldable, quick, easily to get on board with their program, as they like to say. So most likely whatever he's on, she on, because this has been the only man she's known since her early 20s. And, she spent her whole childhood in the industry. So I don't know if she really had the time to get to know herself and to date and to, find her own identity. She's a twin, so she's had a womb mate and, someone that looks just like you. You dress alike all your life. You finish each other's sentences. You're working in the same jobs. All of this, you always have somebody with you your whole life. When do you have your time to find your individuality? And then some twins seem like they don't really like to explore that individuality. Some do, but some don't. Like even with Diddy's twins, a lot of people criticize them for still dressing alike as high school seniors. They even, like, when they went to homecoming or prom, they have the exact same dresses. And I don't understand. I can't relate because I'm not a twin. I don't know. But from the outside looking in, you would think, oh, when are you going to start exploring your individuality? Even if you have like a different color dress or a different style with the same color, why have you not started pouring into your own identity? So to me, with Tamara being a young lady who is also a twin, who's shared everything with her sister since inception, she probably is very much her husband's muse, and her husband's, she probably shares his ideals, ideas, his thought processes, and his mindset. Um, Tia just got divorced from Corey Hardrick, and we seemingly thought that they were doing well. We liked them as a couple. People noticed on Black Love, when they were interviewed on Black Love, that I believe she was like over talking him a lot. And he definitely checked that, and he did it in a way that was kind of like passive aggressive, like aggressive but low key, that people were clocking, as they like to say. So, ever since Tia has been divorced, I watched her reality show that she just did, Tia Mari. Let me see what it was called. It was called My Next Act. It was on WeTV, and it basically was following her after her divorce and the struggles that she was going through. She was really grieving her marriage, getting to know herself, needing to really be poured into and nurtured by her sisterhood, her assistant, her friends, needing that girl time. Her cousin came in, her favorite cousin, who's a man. He spent a lot of time with her. She was trying to just get to know herself and try different things, try different methods of healing. And she did get fixed up on a date. She started dating. She ended up cutting off the guy that they set her up with, because she felt like she was not able to give as much of herself to the dating process, with just still grieving her marriage, needing to give full attention to her children when she has them, and certain things that made her decide to cut it off with the guy. And I think towards the end of the reality show, she did end up connecting with him again. But not saying that their stories are aligned, but with them being twins, being together, career, life, whatever, all this time, and then they both got married around the same time, and Tia is going through this whole rediscovery of herself, it wouldn't be unlikely that Tamara is also not fully aware of who she is outside of her marriage to her husband. So hopefully, I don't wish any bad on their marriage or whatever, but I just hope that she knows who she is, and that she has her own set of values as well, and that her marriage and her husband's ideas and thoughts and things that he shares online and how he is, I hope it aligns with those values. And that if they don't, that she's able to express that with him, and that he receives whatever it is that she tells him. So that's all I'm going to say on that. I also wanted to talk about today. I saw a post on Threads. Let me pull it up. I saw a post on Threads last night. Let me read it verbatim. So it's by Lori Swank. She is a multipreneur, author, retired fashion stylist. She cooks for fun. She's been seen on CNN, Forbes, Vogue, BET, OWN, Black Enterprise, HuffPost, plus more. I've been following her for a while. I'm not even sure what brought me to her page years ago, but definitely been following her for a while. So on Threads, she said yesterday, my homegirl is arguing with me that it's impossible for a man you're dating to be jealous of you. I thought she was joking at first, but she's dead serious. For the sake of this debate, ladies, please tell me if you've ever discovered a man you were dating was jealous of you. I'm going to read some of the story times, including my own, but I wanted to give you all some of the red flags that she pointed out to recognize when a man is jealous of you that you are dating. If he downplays your wins but lights up when you take an L, he might be jealous of you, sis. If he makes backhanded compliments like, it must be nice to have everything handed to you, he might be jealous of you, sis. If he suddenly got an attitude when you're happy or excited about something, he might be jealous of you, sis. If he tries to humble you every chance he gets, he might be jealous of you, sis. If he doesn't compliment you because you always getting compliments, what you need mine for, he might be jealous of you, sis. If he never asks about your goals or dreams but expects you to support his, you guessed it, he might be jealous of you, sis. If he jokes about your success in a way that doesn't feel like a joke, he might be jealous of you, sis. Something about a man calling a woman big money, whew, will always make my chest hurt. If you ever hear this, please run. If he uses the insecurities you shared with him to keep you in check, he might be jealous of you, sis. If he'll network with your circle, but you're mysteriously left out of emails or left out of any events with his professional contacts, he might be jealous of you, sis. If he one-ups you in front of your friends slash colleagues, he might be jealous of you, sis. The moment you share a win and he jumps in with a bigger or better accomplishment of his own. The fathers of newly born children being jealous of the attention the mother pays the child is going to be a different thread for a different day. I've witnessed this firsthand with friends, and it's a scary sight. I've actually been told, I was told by my ex that he didn't want us to be so quick to have a child because he enjoyed the attention and the love that I gave him, and he didn't want to have to share it with a child. And during that time, I desperately wanted to be a mother and thought that we were actively trying, but in his head, he didn't want it to happen because he didn't want his attention and love to be taken away. And I feel like I got enough love for everybody. And I know, you know, motherhood is different. It does take a lot of energy and effort and time. And sometimes it does shift the the relationship and how much time and effort and affection and love you have to give. But that was interesting. So let me read some of these. Somebody says a man will marry you and still be jealous of you. It's absolutely crazy, but very common. Tell your homegirl also that men will marry a woman they don't even like. I'm sure she'll argue with you too. My actual boyfriend, no, but men who I was getting to know, yes, but that's only because I don't knowingly enter relationships with shitty men. Somebody says, yes, this is an actual thing. I, as a man, experienced it with my ex. She couldn't hide it anymore. Shawty was competing with me, and I had to end the relationship. It was exhausting. Gave her the plays. She bought a condo, started a new career, etc. I'm happy I left her with something tangible. This woman says she is expressing her life's experience. How would she know if she honestly hasn't encountered a narcissist, or she is so above the fray she hasn't had a narcissist jade her? Is it possible she is telling her truth? She refuses to attract that toxicity, and honestly, of course they can, but I have never dated a man who was allowed access to the extent I thought. You're jealous of me. I love that for us both. Good for you, ma'am. Someone said, dated a guy who said he didn't want me to go back to school because I'd get a great job and leave him and I wouldn't need him. He was right. He was always in competition with me, one-upping me, downplaying my accomplishments, etc. Another woman said, yes, I had a dude I was dating tell me, you think you're all that, after I shared some good news with him. He went on to say, yeah, I see. I have to humble you. Another lady said, "Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It started small at first, and then became increasingly egregious. He would say things like, "You think you're better than me because you have that little job, or I'm doing you a favor by dating you." The little job he was referring to is a high position in the government with a wonderful salary. It took me 10 years and 50 rejection letters to get here. He was jealous, and that man hated my guts. He still does to this day. Someone else said my ex-husband confessed to me part of why he treated me so wrong is because he was jealous of me. Let that sink in. Guy I was with for a couple of years. When we were together, he was working for a company that only hires disabled people, and pay is decided on a sliding scale that is determined by how quickly you can get the job done. He was at the top of his scale, which had him making around $4 above, I guess, me. When I moved to his town with him, I took the first job I could get, making, I don't know what M/W is, and low tips. I don't know what that is. Her story too long. Let's skip hers. She got a long thread. I want to read a couple more and then I'll get into my story time. Somebody said, this happened to me twice. One was extremely accomplished, yet hated my wins, and the other morphed into me. He starts an argument before you have a big event every single time. Dated a guy who said he didn't want to go back to school because I read that already. Baby, you can even be married to someone jealous of you. It started with the jokes about my hair or how I dance. Then he would vacuum when I was on the phone with my family. Once he called and started a huge fight with me 5 minutes before an interview. I was like, oh, he hates me for real. Lord. I think another lady said something about, what did she say? It's gonna come to me, her story time, but it was crazy. So my story time, I got a few. The one I shared, let me see if I can find it. So I was 18, started dating this dude I met on MySpace when I was staying with my grandma and saving money for my first apartment. So mind you, I graduated high school May of 2006. I started staying with my grandma, I think that June or July, maybe August. And my plans were to move into my first apartment by December. So I met him somewhere around maybe September, October. Most of my things, because I left my mom and dad's house abruptly. Like, me and my dad got into it. That's why I moved to my grandma's house. So I moved my bed and certain things, my furniture that I did have in my room, into storage, as well as most of my clothes. So I only kept a certain amount of clothes. And so I would rotate a few different outfits. I would have my uniform for work, and then I would have, a few pair of jeans, a couple pair of jeans, some shirts, simple things, and I would kind of rotate those. So this dude would try to clown me about it. Like, at first, he didn't start off that way, of course, but eventually he would make little comments about how I didn't have that many different clothes, like I've seen that outfit before or whatever. And I think I would be like, yeah, a lot of my stuff is in storage. I don't know if he didn't believe me or what, but he would be trying to say little belittling comments. And again, I lived at my grandma's house. We would link. We would either go somewhere. I think I went to his house a couple of times, but we pretty much would date, go on little dates or whatever. So the whole time that I was at my grandma's house, I'm looking at this, but I know the story. So the whole time that I was at my grandma's house, I'm working. I was working at that time at a luxury assisted living. I was, I think, a QMAP at the time. Was I a caregiver yet? I think I was a QMAP at the time, a qualified medication administration person. So I passed meds at an assisted living, and I was stacking money. And also, that was back in the day when layaways was popping. I had me a layaway with all my furniture, and I was doing what I needed to do. So I ended up moving into my apartment December. Mind you, like, where I lived with my grandma, it wasn't hood, but it was like, an average apartment, kind of like in the area, not too far out. My first apartment was far out in a really beautiful neighborhood. It was a luxury apartment. It was like a year and a half, a year and a half since it had been built, brand new everything. Furnished it, had a nice living room set with the recliners on both sides of the couch with the love seat, had the nice entertainment center, had the just decorations, decor that I had. I used to be really into home decor back then. I got to get back into my home decor and interior design bag too. But had it nice. I had I always wanted a canopy bed, so I had a canopy bed, queen size bed. I had the drapes. It was a little princess room. Again, it was nice and luxury, all new appliances, everything. Gated community, nice. When this fool first walked in, because he didn't know where I was moving, but I invited him over. The look on his face when he walked in was pure hater. He could not hide it. He came in, he had these big old work boots because he was a roofer. I think he was probably like in his early 20s, maybe 21. And he took them big old snake boots off and like dropped them on the floor and was just looking around, just hating. Didn't say, "Oh wow, this is nice. I'm so happy for you that you moved in." I think he made a comment about, "Oh, you got your furniture," because I didn't tell him that I was paying on my furniture and had all that. So he probably thought like, "Oh, she lived in a nice place when he pulled in, but I bet she ain't got no furniture." And when he walked in and saw that place was fully furnished and knew that it was all from me, like I didn't have no help, big time hater. Walked in, walked through the place. When he got to my closet stacked, jeans stacked up at the top, clothes, closet full of clothes, full of shoes. Oh, you do got clothes. Like, big hater ass vibes. And this was not the only hater shit that he did during this time. And again, I didn't have boundaries back then. I didn't enforce boundaries back then. I let shit slide. I wasn't picking up what he was putting down. But I was overlooking it or, forgiving. But it was a lot of things that he did that were just such hater stuff. Like he was just a hater. He was hating on everybody. And I seen him recently on social media. He's still the same. But even another guy that it I'm gonna just wrap his story up, but he was a hater. He basically hated the fact that I wasn't just this broke little girl in poverty that lived with her grandma that he felt like he was impressing. And the thing about it is, he was a liar. When I first met him, I met him on MySpace. That's how long ago this was. He had on his profile that he was from Mississippi, that he was a firefighter student, I think, or firefighter in training. He had all these not luxury. He had those box not box Chevys, but the round Chevys. Might have been some box Chevys on there too, like that were all souped up and had rims and paint jobs and all of that. He had all these cars on there like they were his cars and had this particular profile. The first time that we met when in person for our first date, I come outside my grandma's house looking for the Chevy. Like, I don't see him. He's sitting outside of a station wagon. Definitely wasn't a firefighter in training. I don't know if he was from Mississippi or his family was from Mississippi, but it wasn't giving Mississippi at all. I think that was a lie too. But yeah, and the station wagon belonged to his mother, and a whole bunch of other stuff came out. It was I could do a whole show just on that situationship. But he was a hater. He was jealous of me, and it showed in ways of belittling, trying to humble me, um, insulting me, not being happy for my accomplishments. Not like if you know somebody has worked hard or you know that they've been working and saving and they have their first apartment. Like, this is my first apartment, 18 years old. The first thing you should say when you walk in is congratulations, no? Or acknowledge that it's nice. You a hater. Another time, let me see another jealous man. Um, there was a particular man that I was talking to, and me and my mom stay together. So it's not, oh, you live in your mama's basement. It ain't no, I'm renting a room for my mama or my mama takes care of me. Like, we're basically roommates. We both live in Atlanta with only 2 people that are in our immediate family that are here, and it works for us. And so at the time, I think, let me see, I think I was driving, I don't remember what car I had at the time. I had a decent car. And me and my mom lived in the house together or whatever. Me and him fell out, and he was like, I got a better house or I got a better place than you. You live with your mama. I got a better car than you. And I'm thinking, you sitting up here trying to compare our place and our car. And it was just crazy because he wasn't used to anything. So one day we got into a real big argument, and he started that, trying to humble me and trying to insult me and trying to one up me and try to make me feel bad for what he had that was better than mine. So I just roasted his ass. I'm like, you're really not used to shit. Like, I googled you. I googled you, and I saw your past address, and I saw how you was living before you moved to Atlanta, and you was living in like a shack. And so now you want to come down here because I try not to go back and forth with no damn body. But certain once you hit a certain below the belt, and this was years ago, so I ain't trying to argue with nobody now at this point. But once he hit below the belt, when he went low, I went to hell. So I clowned his old house. I think I sent him a picture of it. Then I was so petty, I went and sent him all of the virtual tours of all of my old places that I had from the time my first apartment, my first apartment, then I moved into a townhouse, and then I moved into a condo. And I sent him the virtual tours of all of those places. So he was like, "Oh, you wish you lived there." So then I sent him my credit report with the addresses on there. It was a long night. We literally were arguing all night. But then I was clowning his car, like, you talking about, no, I was clowning his apartment. The apartment that you keep talking about, you got white appliances, white cabinets. The gate don't even work. It's not luxury. Like, you think because you got a gate, you live in a gated community, a gated apartment, that is fancy. It's not. It's a basic ass apartment. And your car ain't even all that. Is this, is that, is like, I was just running it down. How about this fool? I think it was the very next day, sent me a text from the dealership. Like, yeah, now I got this car and it's better than this one. And this is and I'm just like, who in the world have I been dealing with? So you just have to be careful of who you give your time, energy, effort, attention, love, affection, body to. And that's why I preach vetting, because it's not uncommon to get with somebody that is jealous of you or is in competition with you or doesn't like your ass. They like what you can do for them. They like how you look on their arm. They like how other people react to you. Like, they don't really like you. So you have to be able to pick up those signs and not only just recognize them, but get the hell on when you see them. I think my most recent, I guess, situationship was over 5 years ago. And he started out trying to say little things to belittle me or have like little jokey jokes that weren't jokes. Like, he was a bigger frame guy, but I always made him feel nice about his body. I never shamed him or never said, "Oh, you need to lose some weight," or, "Oh, you got love handles," or whatever. But he would name different insecurities that he had about his own body. But then there was a couple of times that he would say something about my body, and I'm like, I'm good over here. Like, I'm not insecure about those things, but it was almost like he wanted me to feel insecure because he did. I remember one time I had a little sweat under my arms because it was hot as hell. I think it was during the summer, not fireworks. And he looked at me and was like, "Ugh, you look musty." And I'm just like, why would you say that in that way? Like, it wasn't even a joke. There was no laughter with it or nothing. It was just like a ugh. And I'm just like, he acted like I was just sweating profusely and had some yellow stains under my arms or something. It was like literally the middle of summer. I had on the long sleeve. It wasn't even the middle of summer, actually. It was the middle of winter. He had the heat on. I had on long sleeves. And at that time, I had smoked a little bit. And then sometimes that makes me high. I don't smoke often. So It made me hot. I had a little bit of sweat under my arms. Oh, you look musty. And then you want me to be in a mood to be romantic and intimate with you after you say something like that. Oh, okay. Kush 9000 says, sounds like he had mommy issues. And you're absolutely right. He did. And it's interesting because I've told certain people stories about him and they're instantly able to pick up the mommy issues from him. But yeah, he did have mommy issues. So that dude, I'm trying to think, it was something else that he said to me that, I don't know. He said a couple of things, this particular guy that was the last situationship. And it didn't take a whole bunch of times for me to be like, this ain't that. Because you're not going to start off with the jokey joke and then all of a sudden you're verbally abusing me. Because that's how it starts. It starts out with people going to see how far they can take it. If you don't check them, if you don't recognize it, or if you don't get the hell on. So I remember when I stopped talking to him and we talked maybe a couple of months later and he asked me, you know, why I wasn't fooling with him no more. I gave him my reasons. There were several. But one of the things he said was like, well, because I mentioned how he started to treat me like he was kind of an asshole basically. And I'm a sweet person. I'm a lover girl. Like you ain't gotta act like that with me. So he was basically like, well, everybody knows that I'm kind of hard at the beginning. I try to, I kind of act like that at first, but once I'm locked in with you, like I'm real kind and sweet or whatever words he used. And I'm thinking like, fool, you're not gonna haze me. I'm not going through no boot camp initiation process, hazing time period before I see you being sweet to me. This is not that. You're not about to see how much I can handle before you love on me. And I'm showing you love from the jump. So you just have to be willing to walk away from that because it's going to get worse. It's going to escalate. He's saying that it was going to get better. No, it wasn't. Absolutely not. So pay attention to the signs, set your boundaries, know what your deal breakers are, and take time to vet people. Like when you're having these conversations, that's why I say put down the texting and pick up the phone where you're able to hear people's tone, where you're able to get used to someone's humor and see what type of things that they say. What's funny to them? Is it funny when you have a moment, an awkward moment, or you share insecurity? I've recently had a friend that I shared some hardships that I was going through, and they called me and asked me, was it resolved? And I was like, no, it's not resolved yet. And I told them what was going on and they laughed about it. So it wasn't like an awkward laugh. It was almost like you're just laughing at my situation. So you got to get cut off, basically. So again, people being jealous of you is not limited to relationships either. You could have people that are in your family that are jealous of you. I feel like certain little things to me, I'm trying to be politically correct. I don't want to start nothing. But I think even simple things like a lot of people compare, family and friends and whoever can compare their upbringing to yours or the things that they've gone through versus what you've gone through. And it can create tension because it's rooted in either jealousy or judgment. Example for me, like growing up as an only child, I didn't always have to share. And some of my family members who did grow up with a lot of siblings or whatever judge me because, I don't operate the same way that they do. I didn't have to always share or always have to give up something of mine just because someone else wanted it. So I feel like I've been judged before based on some of the privileges that I had from being an only child and how that's molded me. I believe that children don't automatically just have to share everything they have just because someone else feels entitled to it or wants it. It should be because they want to share. Now, I don't think kids should be assholes like, oh, mine, you can't have this, you can't play with this, or you can't use this, or I can't share just because I want to be a jerk. But if they have reasons, they do have their own autonomy. They can children can set boundaries too. And I think sometimes enforcing people to share from a young age gets them used to not being able to set healthy boundaries. Because recently one of my little cousins didn't want to share with his brother because his brother had been mean to him all day or all week. And he's like, I don't want to share my toys. Why should he have to? He's made a decision that you haven't treated me well enough to get the privilege of being able to have what I have or use what I'm using. So that could be an issue. Judgment, jealousy, whatever can come up in families, can come up in friendships. I could talk about jealous friends all day long. And, sometimes you don't see things from the inside looking out, or the inside being inside it. You don't notice certain things, but pay attention to when your mama say that girl don't like you, or watch her, and you be thinking, oh, ma, that's my friend. Or, I've told my cousins certain people that I've seen hanging around her, like, I don't get a good vibe from her. And then sure enough, it ends up happening. Some issue rooted in jealousy or mess comes up later on. But I had a friend, an old best friend, that I went through a lot of that jealousy with. And it was like mostly comparison. That's where it came from. It was rooted in comparison. Always trying to compete, always trying to one up, always trying to get something or do something better or faster than me. And I'm like, I've never been a competitive person. I'm not, when it comes to people that I love, when it comes to anybody, I'm not competing with nobody. I feel like competing with people is trying to reach their goals. I got my own goals that I'm trying to reach. I'm staying in my lane. I'm not trying to look over to see what you're doing over there and then rush and do it better, do it faster. So I had a best friend that I thought that she was really a really good friend because she was always there for me when I needed her. Literally. Anytime I was down, anytime I needed something, anytime I was grieving or going through a breakup or in my abusive relationship, she was always there to comfort and give me kind words or bail me out, or, lend me some money or whatever. And then I had to think about it like, based on that, plus all these other things that are going on in our friendship, it's actually some weird shit that you on, that you're only there for me when I'm down. When you feel like you're superior to me, or you feel like you're needed, you can do something to help me, so you could be able to say, oh, I helped you, I lent you that, I picked you up when you needed this. It was always, you're right there when I'm going through something, so that you could feel like you're doing me a favor. But when I had accomplishments, we had the same career path. So she became a nurse before I did. I'm happy for you. Soon as I become a nurse and I start at the same job, and I tell you, oh, they started me out with $22 an hour. What? They're only paying me $22.71. I need to call. Like, even if you felt that way, even if you felt like it wasn't fair because you started a few months before me, that you're barely making more than me, keep that to yourself and just congratulate me that I'm happy about the fact that I'm starting off with this pay. Everything that I had, she ended up getting. Like, I moved into that luxury apartment I was just telling y'all about, and her boyfriend were staying at a basic apartment that she moved in with him. And then next thing you know, she started going apartment hunting, and she called me one day, guess where I'm moving? Where, girl? In your apartment complex. But I don't have a 1-bedroom like you. I got a 2-bedroom. Mind you, the man she was with at the time was not contributing financially, and they were not utilizing the 2nd bedroom. So she ended up having to downsize to a 1-bedroom, and ended up literally as my next door neighbor. But we had fallen out by the time. No, we were cool for a moment when she was my next door neighbor, but then we ended up falling out due to some mess between her and her man and my man. It was a mess. But anyway, the fact that you moved into my apartment, but you wanted to make sure you had the bigger and better apartment, but you couldn't even afford it, but you trying to one up me. So then I have so many examples, y'all. It was a lot. And I had a conversation with her mom one time, and she was just like, she's just it's just a natural thing that girls go through, competitive nature, because she had a lot of sisters. And I'm just like, that's not my nature. I'm not like that. I don't. That's not natural to me. I don't think that that's what we should be doing if we calling ourselves best friends. Why are we competing with each other? Why are we trying to one up each other? So it was a mess. It was a really big mess, and we ended up falling out behind something that didn't even have nothing to do with us. It ended up having something to do with us, but it was me and her sister had a falling out, and her sister was saying so many things to me that only would have been told to her by her sister. So you have to be careful of jealous friends. You have to be careful of friends that don't want you to have other friends. Like, they just want you all to themselves. They don't want you to be cool with nobody else. They mad when you go out with your other friends, when you're talking to your other friends, when you're nurturing other friendships. Like, huh? I do not belong to you. So when you start having weird vibes like that, and people are starting to act like they possess you, beware. Keep it moving. Single white female, single black female vibes. Or, like somebody was saying about a man, they try to become you. Again, trying to have everything you have. Want the same hairstyle. Want to work everywhere you work. Want to look exactly the way you look. Want you to teach them how to be you, or watch you so that they can try to be you. That shit's weird. Now, there's a difference between being inspired, wanting to dress alike because we friends on some cutesy stuff, but when you literally change your whole identity to clone me, please stay away. Um, Another thing that I didn't like, that I don't like, when I think it's cool to like reach out to your homegirls or your folks, whoever you got to go out with, and be like, what you wearing, just so you can be in the same aesthetic. Like, if we all wearing heels and we dressing up, like, what's the vibe tonight? That's cool. But when you're calling, like, what are you wearing, so you can wear the exact same outfit, or you can make sure that you feel like you look better than the other person. Because I've had that too. What are you wearing? Because I feel like, I can't keep up with what you have on. Or if you're wearing a dress, I want to make sure I wear all that type of stuff. Pay attention to the signs. Get you some friends and people around you that are their own individuals, um, that are confident. When you deal with people that have confidence issues and insecurities, that could be a problem because they project them onto you. I've had a homegirl that I was trying to go out with and stuff and kick it with and get to know, and your energy is off. We're going out and I don't like the way this is fitting. I hate the way I gained too much weight. And you're literally mad, and you're sitting there wondering why you're not being approached. It's your energy and your aura and your attitude. And who you surround yourself with, you become. So you really have to be careful about people that, not saying that you can't be friends with people that have insecurities, but when they project them onto you, when they bring you down to that low vibrational energy because they don't feel like they're confident in themselves, and then they see your confidence and they want to either dim your light or become you, you have to just be careful. Be careful, y'all. It is dangerous out here. I could have a whole story time about these type of crazy ass situations where people are jealous or judging you or just bringing your energy down because of jealousy. But that's why I preach the power of no. It's not just about telling people no, it's about setting healthy boundaries. It's about recognizing and really tuning into your discernment about who people are and what their vibe is, and are they really for you? Are they actually good friends? Vetting is not just for relationships. Vetting is for friendships. Vetting is for people you work with. Vetting is for um, anybody. Even your family members got to be vetted sometime, because who sent you? Sometimes you gotta you gotta figure out who the hell sent your long lost cousin that's coming around on some hater ass vibes. Like, anybody can get cut off. You have to protect your energy from anybody who is not giving you the vibes that you're looking for. And sometimes people don't even know that they are giving off jealousy vibes. What's up, Albies for she's? I think we went to. Did we go to Hinkley together? We went to Hinkley together, I believe. He says respect and true. You gotta be careful with the monitoring spirits. Look it up. But sometimes people are coming around you, wanting to know everything that you got going on, wanting you to tell them all your business, but telling you nothing about what they have going on. Never happy for you. Nothing. Watch out for them. They the monitoring spirits. They trying to see what's going on. They're trying to peep and figure out what you got going on, so they can either send evil eye, bad vibes, or go and do it themselves, or just putting bad energy into the mix. Thumbs down. Yes, we did, Albert. El Monet 444 Latrice says K Dot said he cut his granny off if she doesn't see it the way on what. I am with you, Kung Fu Kenny, on that, because really, I mean, we've been raised to, family first and loyalty and all this. Like I always say, when it comes to respect and loyalty, I am for respect all day. Be loyal to yourself. And I pray and hope that your loyalty to yourself is to your values and your standards and your morals and principles. And I hope that I align with those morals, values, standards, and principles. But if anytime I don't, choose yourself. And respectfully, though. We don't have to disrespect each other to go our separate ways. We don't have to respect or disrespect each other to disagree. But when it comes to all that, family first, you go with blood is thicker than water. I'm all for family. I love my family. But if I'm feeling like it's some hater energy going on, if I'm feeling like it's some disrespect, it is some low-key insults, belittling, narcissistic behavior, just harmful, you might not get cut off to the point where I don't talk to you ever again and I disown you, but you're going to get recategorized. I believe in recategorizing people. You might not be in my immediate circle anymore of people that I share things with, that I call when I have good news, that I invite out to certain things, that I sit up on the phone and talk to, that I meet up with. You might become the person that I check on every now and then. How you doing? How you been? You all right? I love you. I just wanted to check on you and see how you doing. Might pull up on you when I'm in town or pull up on you and see you. I'm still gonna support you and root for you as long as there's no, harm, no foul. But I'm not sitting on the phone talking to you about my business. I'm not sharing no wins. I'm not sitting around gossiping about other people with you. You just somebody hey. And then you might get categorized to the person that I'll see you when I see you. We ain't got to talk on the phone or whatever, but I'll see you when we have family functions, when I'm in town or whatever. I'm gonna see you, hug you, love you, hey. And then sometimes you might get cut off if your energy is that whack to the point where I got some folks in my family that you don't get another chance to disrespect me. So you didn't pass up all your chances. I got to cut you off. Yes, the Thunderbirds. You be watching me. You always. Oh, thank you. I didn't know you be watching. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. But yes, anybody can get it. Make sure you maintain your boundaries. Make sure that you recategorize people if you're not ready to cut them off, because cutting people off can be difficult, especially if you really love them. But if you can do the closest thing you can do to cutting them off, if you feel like you need to have them in your life, but it protects your peace, protect your energy, stand on your values and your principles. Don't let nobody play in your face. regardless of who they are. A lot of Gen X, baby boomers, they don't believe in the type of shit we own as millennials and Gen Zs and Gen Alphas too. Like, even parents can get it. Like, we love you, but we have boundaries. Some of these parents, old school parents, don't believe that their children can have boundaries on them. Adult children, I feel like kids can have boundaries as well. Of course, there's a certain way that you have to present those boundaries. Can't be disrespectful. There's certain things that you're not going to be able to tell your parents as a child. But as adult children, parents that can be narcissistic, can be abusive, can be toxic, can be condescending, can be users, whatever the case may be. If you feel like you need to set boundaries on your own parents, sometimes you have to, in order to maintain the relationship, in order to protect your peace, in order to protect your inner child. I've had to protect little Osha because little Osha wasn't able to protect herself. So big Osha gonna stand on business. And that's what I'll say on that. But thank you all for tuning in. We are almost an hour and a half in. I want to go ahead and wrap it up, but I just want to make sure that you all know that you have the right to set boundaries. You need to be able to utilize your discernment when it comes to jealous people around you, jealous spirits, monitoring spirits, haters, judgmental people, people that want to, those people that you may be dating that start off with the love bombing and then they mix it back and forth with the insults and belittling to raise your dopamine and your cortisol levels are having a dance party because you're getting the back and forth, and then you get gaslit, and then the abuse. It's a whole cycle. We'll talk more about that cycle of abuse as well. I've spoken on it before, but it's all abuse. And you definitely have to utilize your discernment. If you need support with that, if you need support with your journey of healing, self-love, self-discovery, setting boundaries, standing on business, make sure you go to oshacerese.com and book you a free discovery call. It takes nothing to book your call. We get on the phone and I will find out, a phone call or a Zoom, whichever you prefer, and we will discover how I can best support you on your journey of healing, self-love, self-discovery, setting boundaries, intentional dating. I got you because you need support with being able to recognize these signs and not just recognize them, but do something about them, because a lot of people see it, but they don't know what to do with that information and how to go about setting those boundaries. People feel attached, people feel obligated, people feel guilty about having to do what they need to do in order to grow, evolve, heal, protect their peace, or whatever it is that they need to do. So if you need support with that, book a call, oshacerese.com. I have a couple of courses that you can enroll in that are already curated for you, one single step at a time. That is a perfect 6-week guided course for anyone who is looking to start their healing journey, especially after divorce, breakups, heartbreaks, domestic violence, toxic relationships, your season of single. It is a great program to help you unlock that healing, to tap into your inner child healing, to unpack some of that past relationship trauma, to do your shadow work, to discover who you are, what you want, what you like, what are your core values, what is it that makes you tick, how do you pour self-love into yourself, what does that look like, how to start dating yourself. And it's not just for single people, people in relationships and marriages that have lost themselves or maybe never even knew themselves. They can do this as well. And it supports you with having a healthier relationship as well. And then once we get through all the unpacking and all of the healing and shadow work, we'll get into a plan of action for the future, whether that's you trying to manifest a partner, whether you would like your certain career path, entrepreneurial journey, or just some personal development that you would like to focus on, and we'll get you started on your journey of that for the future, get you in line with your goals, keep you accountable with all that. That program, one single step at a time, again, is guided and it comes with coaching. So your coaching is included, and you get I don't have it with me because I took it with me today. You get your free How to Beat Single journal, comes along with the program as well. There's payment plan options. If the price is out of your budget and you're not able to pay, just get on a discovery call and we'll work it out. Also, you can just get the How to Beat Single journal if you just want to work on your own, on your self-paced time, or if you would like something a little bit more in between the 6 weeks and just the guided journal self-paced work. Enroll into 5 Ways in 5 Days. That is your self-love workshop. It's a virtual workshop that teaches you how to utilize the love languages into your daily acts of self-love and self-care. That is available. It costs less to do that program than it does to actually have a coaching session, and it comes with a coaching session. So you get this program that can be done in as little as 5 days, or you can take your time up to 60 days. And it's going to not only teach you how to utilize your love languages in your daily acts of self-love and self-care, but also to uncover those blockages of giving and receiving love. You might be able to give love all day long, pour into other people, speak affirmations over them, support them, help them, assist them, gift them, do all kind of acts of service and spend quality time with people and do all of the things. But when it comes to you, you don't know how to receive, allow, and accept. So find out why. Or maybe you do know how to allow, receive, and accept, and you just take and take and take and take and take it. But when it comes to giving, you got a chip on your shoulder or you got some type of blockage. So that program helps you to identify that and gives you some prompts, some affirmations, some exercises to unlock those blockages. Again, you got the coaching sessions you can get one-on-one. And then Power of No, that's teaching you how to set those healthy boundaries, how to stop being a people pleaser and all that. If you are interested in that, just email me or contact me on oshacerese.com and I'll get you on the waiting list for the Power of No. And of course, I can't forget to mention, if you are a single person that is looking to date intentionally, you're a hopeful romantic, you want love in 2025, make sure you join the Intentional Love Collective. That is a growing community and database that I have to help curate amazing singles events. As you all, if you've been following me on social media, you know I've gotten back into the speed dating and singles mixer space and a little bit of matchmaking as well. I have a successful couple that I introduced last year that are in love. They call each other their love of their lives. They are getting ready to move together. They working on property outside of the US. They doing business together. They're doing great. So I got the magic touch when it comes to finding love. I'm still trying to find love for myself, but I'm gonna help y'all in the meantime too. So join the Intentional Love Collective if you would like to find love in 2025. This helps me when I do host a singles mixer or a speed dating event to make it personalized. So it's not just a bunch of random people in a room. It's people that actually have shared interests that describe each other as their type, because you will put in your physical type. And hopefully you come in and you're attracted to the people that are there and you get to know them and you're like, wow, we have this and that in common because I've curated it. So add yourself to the Intentional Love Collective. It's a growing database that needs your information right now. So it is in my bio. As of right now, I'm updating my website. Hopefully I'll be done by the end of the weekend. So we'll be there by next week, but it's in the link in my bio if you would like to join. Again, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. I've been dedicated to coming here every day. This is day 21. They say 3 weeks of anything creates a habit. So we here, we disciplined, we showing up, we consistent. I'm proud of me. I hope y'all proud of me too. Where are the fireworks at? I don't know how to get those, but this will be the perfect time for the fireworks. We celebrating 3 weeks of the Osha Cerese Show. Make sure you are on my channel, which is another part of my intentions to grow my channel. YouTube.com/@Osha Cerese. That's YouTube.com/OSHACERESE. I'm getting ready to chill. It's Friday night. I'm in the house. I went out today. That's enough. I'm about to shower, get comfortable, make some fajitas, and watch Ready to Love. So tune in because I'm going to do my best. I'm going to just set the intention so y'all can keep me accountable. I'm going to review Ready to Love this season. Ready to Love is one of my favorite reality love shows. And I usually say that I'm going to review it and never do because I just want to chill and watch it and enjoy it. But I'm going to try to review it because I reviewed Love is Blind last season. This season sucks. I'm just be honest. I don't even feel like reviewing this season of Love is Blind. I'm going to just watch. Um, there was another show that I reviewed that was like a love reality show. I can't think of right now. But Ready to Love. So stay tuned to my YouTube channel. I do reviews of shows. I do travel vlogs. I'm going to get back into my little day in the life vlogs as well. You can find my podcast episodes. See, um, my podcast episodes live on my YouTube channel from when I was doing the Cool Weirdos podcast. I might bring that back. We'll see. Connections and Conversations, which is my series to talk about healing self-love and self-discovery and intentional dating with people to bridge the gap between men and women. So you can find those episodes on YouTube as well. Connections and Conversations. What else is on there? I've reviewed the Risa Tisa stuff. I'm still dropping stuff with that. It's a lot. I'm growing my YouTube. I'm figuring out my niche. I mean, I know my niche, but I'm figuring out what people like the best, what type of content. So just support your girl. Continue to support your girl. I'm so grateful for the ones who do, and for the ones that are going to find out about me. I'm grateful for y'all too. So tap in, oshacerese.com, youtube.com/@oshacerese. If you would like to write me, if you want me to read a letter anonymously, break it down, give you some advice, give me some feedback, questions, concerns, whatever like that, you can always email me at oshacerese@gmail.com. So that's that. I've been running my mouth for an hour and 31 minutes and 52, 53, 54 seconds. So I'm about to go chill. Thank y'all for tuning in. Happy Friday. Enjoy your evening. Talk to you later.